Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. I'm still playing with these covers. Did you find anything good at the at Patty's sale, Lorna? I hung in as long as I could. I really wanted just some covers, but oh well. Hopefully you got some good stuff. It was fun to be able to stay a little longer. It just turned out you found more than you should have. Yeah, that might have been me. I was tempted by some of the ledgers, but then I realized I have unused ledgers here. They don't have any of the pretty writing on them, but I haven't quite, haven't gotten to use them yet, so I didn't need any more. I did want some covers, though, some book covers, but oh well. Welcome, whoever's out there lurking. I am going to do something that I have only done a tiny, tiny bit of before, and that is working on these journal covers that, let's see, that I'm working on for the giveaway. Let's start with this. So I had my little covers that I had made, and I made 5 of these. And then I realized that I had used coffee dyed lace on some of them. So I actually made a 6th one that was all with lace. It had no coffee dyeing on them. Hi, Your Way Crafting Junk Journals. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before. Happy to have you join us. So I went ahead and I made a 6th one, and I've been trying to figure out what to do on the covers before I make them into the journals. And so I'm thinking I'm going to add some fibers, and they'll be a little bit different colors. You're editing scans. Of course you are. I might actually get the scanner set up this week. I don't know. I have a really bad headache today, so I need to do stuff where I don't have to think very much. Wrong account. So I don't know. I haven't done a lot of this. I did pin these down, which maybe isn't the way most people work. I don't know. This is all kind of new to me. And I was thinking I would just use this crochet cotton I had that I want to use up, and I would use it on all the journals, so it would be similar. Oh, Brenda, I thought I recognized the face, but then I didn't quite put it all together. Hi, Brenda. How are you doing? So I don't know. I mean, hopefully this is just, the couching is just a simple little up and down, and you can get more fancy with it. But I think, considering my head is pounding, and when we get a few more people here, I want to show you some of the different color options I'm thinking of for the different journals and see what you think. Hey, Debbie. Haven't seen you for a while. Happy to see you here. Congratulations on moving up a lane on your swimming activities. I saw that post today. Okay, yeah, I was debating whether to use just really thin thread. This will work. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter on this. I need to not think so hard on these. Yeah, it's quite an accomplishment, isn't it? What are you working on today, Brenda? Lorna's editing scans. Debbie, are you doodling? I've been looking at sea glass on Etsy, and I was thinking of you. Isn't it funny how we start to associate certain people with certain things, but you always do find the best beach finds. All right, I think this is going to be okay. Yeah, so the idea just to knock some of these down, and I do think maybe pinning it's going to work for me. So I was going to do one in blue, and then I was thinking I would do one in the neutrals with the browns. And then I had a lot of orange fibers, so I thought I could do one with the oranges. And then this is a color you'll hear me say I don't do very often, but maybe I should do one with the pinks. And then I was thinking, I don't know if this works or not, but I had some of the multicolors. So I thought maybe I would do one with the multicolors. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. These are all for the giveaway. Is it unusual? It's kind of new to me. So Debbie, I don't think you've been here when I've been doing these. So these started off as just a piece of sheet that I cut to journal size. And then these are all just little bits of lace, and it's not my fine vintage lace. They're the more modern laces, but when they're cut into these little pieces, no more than an inch or two long, and then I just kind of stitch them down, and I'll make sure when I'm done with all the other stuff that everything's tacked down. It just gives it just this wonderful feel. So I'm just kind of playing here to see what we end up with. And the idea is I have a really big milestone coming up. I'm coming up on 5,000 subscribers, which just kind of blows my mind. And so I thought I would do 5 journals giveaway. We have air quality that's actually semi-decent today after all the fires. So that feels really good. We're at about 65. We were at 50 when I got up, but it's gotten a little bit worse since I've been up. Okay, and I suppose a more experienced stitcher would not need to pin this down, but I'm kind of liking pinning it down. Maybe I'll just kind of go through and tack it everywhere enough to hold the shape I want. And I know this may not be the most exciting thing to watch somebody do, but this was kind of all I could manage with my head pounding today. I think the pressure, the pressure outside might be changing. I don't know if we have any rain coming. We tend to get a lot of fog, not necessarily a lot of rain, but oh my head. Yeah, here in California, or in my part of California, in the Santa Cruz Mountains, it's getting a little better. But of course, up in Oregon and Washington, it's still really, really hazardous. Our local fire, I checked this morning, and we are at 89% containment, which is awesome. They've really worked hard to keep our little town safe. And things are mostly back up to normal except for mail, but I think mail is just kind of wonky all over the place. I mean, Amazon Prime, forget it. You don't get anything in 2 days anymore. It takes a couple weeks. And then I've been ordering some things on Etsy, and for a while it was great. I was getting stuff in a real timely manner, and now everything is late. And now with the Hurricane Sally, I'm sure stuff coming from that area of the country is going to be even later. Okay, and I'm not going to try and space these in any particular order. I'm just going to let these fall where they are. This is Susan just being Susan here. Yeah, Brenda, they're the same ones I worked on last week. And so I had 5 done. And then, like I said, I went ahead and did a 6th one that I made sure did not have any coffee dyed lace in it, since we had that discussion last week. Debbie, we found out a friend had a journal confiscated because it had coffee dyed papers in it. She's in New Zealand, and evidently drug people that are shipping drugs or whatever with drugs, they use coffee to mask the scent. And so now coffee scented things are perhaps at risk at being confiscated at customs, which was just kind of mind-boggling to a lot of us. Yeah, I'm not normally a big blue person, but I really like this. I have no idea what I'm going to do on the insides of these journals, guys. Zero idea. It's been a while since I made an actual journal. I've been working on small projects that aren't journal related or making papers. And I don't know. I had debated, you guys can tell me what you want. Do I make them all into actual journals, or would you prefer me to just do, for the giveaways, loose pages, like tied with a ribbon, And you guys could use the journal cover however you wanted and take the pages apart and do them however you wanted. That's the decision I need to make. Yeah, it was really hard. New Zealand seems to be the strictest that I have found so far, Lorna, but gosh, you kind of have to go to each country and check it out. New Zealand, you couldn't send finger paints, children's finger paints and crayons because they were being very careful about lead that would be coming in some of the older stuff. Australia looks strict, but perhaps not in the same ways as New Zealand. I don't know. It's so I just figured I'd make one that was completely safe. And when I did the drawing for the giveaway, we'll just have to find out where people live before I decide who gets what. Wow, I'm really kind of all over the place, huh? Let's see. I'm not going to be able to take any pins out if I'm not careful about which way I'm going. Well, I wonder if tea-dye would be the same thing. That's what I was wondering. Can we stick to tea-dye, or is tea-dye going to be the same kind of an issue? Maybe Jude will be able to join us in a bit and give us a little bit of insight, since that's where she lives. And then you wonder, like people dye with other fruits and vegetables. I would guess maybe just coffee is because it's the strongest smell. I don't know. Trying to see if there's an easy, okay, I don't like that because that stitch is way too wide, but I can cover it up with something later. I figure once I get the threads, or at least most of the threads on, okay, that's not going to work to do it this way. Then I can go back maybe and do some beads. I'm not real good with beads. I'm not real good with this either. So I'm going to have a bloody stump underneath here. So sorry I don't have something more exciting. I kind of played with a couple of experiments yesterday, but I didn't figure them out. I accidentally, have you done that? Accidentally bought, it was in my Amazon cart and I didn't pay attention. And then I didn't pay attention twice because I ended up buying it twice and I didn't mean to buy it at all. But it's that masking paper. I don't think I have anything out here. That they use for painting, and a lot of people are buying the green rolls because it's a really pretty green. Well, I had brown in my cart for some reason, and I ended up with not one but 2 rolls of this really super, super lightweight paint masking paper. So I've been playing around with staining it and doing a few different things for collage, but gosh, I've got a ton of it now, so I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm going to use it up. Hey, Erin, how are you? Happy Wednesday. I did pin the blue threads down. I'm thinking for me, because I'm just such an inexperienced stitcher, it makes sense to at least get the first base. And then I think when I get these sewn on, I can take a look at more threads if I want to add them, and I won't need to pin them as much. This is all, I'm learning how to roll with the stitching. I'm enjoying the stitching though. What's exciting to me about stitching of any kind, hand stitching of any kind, is that I finally have something that I can do when we watch TV in the evenings, because we tend to turn the TV on. It's just my husband and I. So, we eat dinner on our laps watching TV. Right now we're watching baseball. So the TV goes on at about 6 and it stays on until about 10. And I can't really, do anything too intense because I can't concentrate on 2 things at once too well anymore. But I can do the hand stitching. So I'm really excited to have found something I can do while we're sitting there doing that. And then the TV goes off at 10, then I can do a little bit more intense work before I go to bed. Plus, it's a way to use up more of this stuff. A little hungover. Oh no, Erin. Oh, Lala, well, I'm glad your sister-in-law's out of the hospital. You're all going to be able to go together. Yay. You're scanning lace. So you've got some old lace you can scan. I'm thinking when I get these done, I will probably scan them before I sew them into covers. Oh, wait a minute. I asked a question and then I forgot to look back and see if anybody asked my questions. Hey, Tunder. Hi. Well, that is a wonderful thing to celebrate, Lala. That's just, yeah. Yeah, you had some scary days there. Yeah, as long as I pay attention to where the pins are, I think the pinning is very helpful. And I know an experienced stitcher would probably be doing a whole line like this, but I think I'm just gonna try and see if I can get these tacked down, and then I'll take the pins out, and then I'll go back through. So, Erin, were you celebrating? Why are you a little hungover? I can't do that stuff anymore. I'm too old. Well, I never did it very well when I was younger either, but I would go from one drink to way too many drinks, and my hangovers never even waited until the next day. I always got them that night, and then they carried on until the next day. Let's see. Okay, I'm liking this. I wasn't sure. I want to do one that's maybe just lace, but trying to get these giveaway things done at least as close to when I hit the milestone, because gosh, I'm really close now, which is exciting, but at the same time, wow. All right, I don't need that pin. Oh, I'm waiting for the Excedrin to kick in. I have a pin there, but there's no lace, no blue there. Oh, maybe that's what that was going to be. Maybe we won't worry about that right now. We need something here, though, don't we? We need something here. Great way to use up a bunch of these little fibers that have been hanging around forever and ever. So I did this crazy thing. Okay, I'm sure you'll think I'm crazy with my pins the other day. I had a bunch of them. I mean, my pins are old. Most of my pins are really old. And so they were catching on the fabric. They had that little, tip at the end that wasn't good. And so I literally went through all my pins one by one and tested them to make sure that they didn't have that little thing on the end of them. And then I was going to toss all the old ones, and I said, no, I can use those for resting. So I put them aside, but now I know at least I have all good pins in here. That was kind of a crazy thing to be doing. Let's see if we can put these threads in here so it looks like they all go together. My needle's right there. Maybe we can fix this all at once. Plumbing sorrows. Oh, that's hideous, hideous, hideous. Oh, wait, Debbie, you have a channel now? Awesome. I think I missed that. Oh gosh, getting the zaps in the face, that I've had to do that with my veins. Fires today here are much better. Let's see. Our air quality is, we're at 66 right now, so it's actually getting worse. It was at 50 when I got up this morning, but our closest fire here is at about 89% containment, which is awesome. Whoops. So what are your plumbing woes, Erin? We didn't have any gray water system running for 6 weeks, which was a pain because we're on a septic system. So that meant showers and laundry were going to the septic tank, which is old, and we're trying not to fill up any more than we absolutely have to. So we finally got that up and running again. But having actual, a other plumbing issues. We had those when we first moved in. Not fun. Debbie, you don't need to edit. I very rarely edit. Probably the only ones I edit are when I'm trying to like do an instructional video, like my, finding public domain images, which I've got to do some more of those. But my other stuff, well, lately, all I've been doing is the lives. That's all I can handle. And I'm glad people understand that, sometimes in life, that's all we can do. I thought I was going to be able to get back to doing regular videos sooner rather than later, but that hasn't happened. Okay, pinning them does let me move faster, at least for the tacking part. I can get all these tacked down while I'm chatting with you guys, and then I can do the fine tuning tonight. So yeah, I got to figure out what I'm going to do on the inside of these. I really don't know. I think what's throwing me is I don't normally do this. I don't normally do a cover first. I normally have a theme in mind. Like I'm going to do a nature journal, or I'm going to do a butterfly journal or something. So it's kind of thrown me, but that's okay. I mean, what's nice is I have the best subscribers in the world, the best watchers in the world. You guys are always awesome and encouraging no matter what I'm doing. All right, let's see. Don't lose my needle. I also went through all my needles and got rid of all the barbed needles. Okay, I don't think I need that one. And I don't need that one. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we had to get a new pump for the gray water system. And our gray water system comes from Australia, which we had got because the people that helped us install it, local ecology group helped us install it and stuff. Everybody fell for the marketing where they said, it was this double filtration system. It was wonderful. It's been in operation, for years with success in Australia. Turned out, no, it really hadn't been used for as long as they said it had been in use. And the pump was kind of wonky, and then it kept popping fuses. So we got a new pump to the tune of $350. And then we were still having issues, but my husband and the plumber finally figured it out, and we're up and running again. Thank goodness we don't have a well to deal with too, because wow, that would take care of all the regular water. And we are lucky where we are that we're on our regular city water, because the fires out in the fire area, a lot of people are having water issues. They can't drink the water because the infrastructure for all the water has been damaged from the fires. Okay, this is not a good needle. I have needles that I had bought and needles that I inherited from both sets of grandmothers. And I mixed them all up, and I really wished I hadn't done that. So I've been buying some new needles, and I'm gonna let the rest of the other ones go. Just use them for resting. That one wasn't pinned down very well. Oh well. The pinning is just a suggestion, right? Just a suggestion. So I could do this one with blue pages, and maybe the color on the cover will dictate what I put on the inside. So if we've got blue threads, then the pages inside will have things to do with blue. I just don't want to make, I tend to make every project longer than it really needs to be. And I want to not do that with these. Otherwise, they won't get out until I hit 6,000 subscribers. And that's not good. All right. Okay, Lala, take care. Rebecca, I don't see you. I don't see you at all, but I'm glad you're here. I think of you so much, Rebecca, when I am playing with fabric and looking at fabric now. I was sorting through the fabric bundles that I got from you and looking at different ways to use them. I still haven't gotten around to a crazy quilt, but Rebecca, I'm going to show you what I did. These are my little journal covers on an old sheet, and just tiny 1 to 2 inch scraps of lace all stitched together. And it just really, I could use the cheap lace, and it's really gives a wonderful feel. They feel a lot nicer because, of course, you can't take everything. I mean, you know, we had to leave room in the car or in my husband's SUV for the propane tanks, which you have to take away when you're being evacuated. They take up a lot of room in the back of a car. You know, so we had to have those out of the way, and we had the car all packed up, and I still had a lot of stuff in the studio, and I had all this lace that I wasn't going to take because it wasn't my vintage lace, and I didn't want to unpack everything yet because for all we knew, we were going to have to get up and go again. So that's kind of what I started with these. It's like, how can I use up all these little bits of lace? All right, I want to do that there, but I don't want that little loop. Yeah, buffering again. Sorry about that, guys. And I can't even blame anything on this end on my husband because he's out walking the dog. Tell you, I've had no trouble at all getting used to him working from home all the time. I don't want him going back into the cubicle land at all. So, Rebecca, you expert sewer, you don't judge the crazy way I'm doing some of this, but I have pinned, I don't know if you're supposed to pin the threads when you do the couching or not, but I'm inexperienced enough that I went ahead and pinned them down. And I'm just kind of tacking them so I can get rid of the pins because I keep sticking myself with the pins. Yeah. So thank you guys for hanging with me. We got a small crowd today, and that is fine. Thanks for the thumbs up. Wow, buffering everywhere. Well, I need to think of something interesting to say if everybody's just hanging out and listening, huh? So has anybody found any? I know Patty had her ledger sale on Monday, and some of you might have gone over to Patty Lang's sale and found some great stuff. Has anybody found anything else, any great finds lately? I've been doing a lot of Etsy shopping. Haven't found anything like super unusual, but some neat little embellishments that will be fun to use. And I ordered some little bits of wool scraps because I didn't have any and I wanted some wool to play with. And I ordered, I won't say the name right, Volandi. I ordered a few balls of the really expensive perlite cotton just to see how it felt compared to all the other, because most of all my fibers and embroidery flosses come from, you know, Goodwill shopping. And I will admit, it feels really nice. This is just old crochet cotton that I'm using right now. Hi, Kay. Happy to have you here. $1 each for the long dresses? Holy cow. I'm not brave enough to go into the shops yet. I've just been doing the online thing. I've been watching a couple of wool coats, and I need some linen. I've been really looking for linen. I've got a small pack of linen scraps coming, but I haven't been able to find any great things of linen. So I'm kind of looking right now at men's shirts on eBay that are linen to see if I can get some linen that way. But I got to figure out how I can make the lacy stuff work with my nature stuff. That's my biggie thing, because I love working with the lace, but most of my art is also nature oriented. It's like, how am I going to make these two meld together? So I'm if anybody's got examples of things I should go look at, because I'm very inspired when I see what other people have done. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're not really a hot spot right now either, but I'm chicken. I am. I'm a big chicken. My husband's been the one going out and doing all the shopping for us, and I've been very grateful. He's got long legs. He zips in. He doesn't get distracted like I do when we go shopping, so he can zip in with the grocery list and zip back out again. And I don't need anything, it's that need versus want. So I've been doing, like I said, some Etsy shopping for, got some mixed media work that I want to do. And I needed, plus for the slow stitching, I wanted some flattish embellishment, something other than just washers. So I did find a few of those. In our thrift stores, to be honest, before the shutdown even, they just didn't have that much that excited me. So I think maybe I had kind of burnt out on the low, I needed to let it go for a while. So maybe by the time I finally get back into thrifting, we'll have some interesting stock. I'm more interested in emptying out the garage and sending the stuff in the garage to the thrift store. Oh, lucky you. I got to talk to my grandson a couple weeks ago for his 16th birthday, which does not seem possible. He sounds like a young man now, not a kid, talking about college and stuff. But I haven't seen him in a few years, even though he only lives like 5 hours away. But that's another story. Yeah, I'd like to have a grandkid that liked to do artsy stuff to play with all my goodies. Or just, feel safe enough to have a friend come over and play. Like I said, I'm very, very nervous. I mean, I'm of an age that's, in a high risk group. Got my appointment to get my flu shot. If you haven't gotten your flu shot yet, put that on your list to do. I get that next week, but then I guess it takes a couple weeks before it really goes into effect. Okay, can't get rid of any of those yet. Yeah, I can see as I get more confident, maybe I wouldn't need to use as many pins, but I'm not there yet. That's okay. I confess I really like using a glue stick just to hold my fabric in place, but it doesn't quite work the same with fibers. And all these little bits of lace, Rebecca, they're all hand stitched because it's just so satisfying. It'd be a completely different look if I went all over them with the sewing machine, which I could do. And I might do that on some just to whip some out. I'm wondering if there's a market, if I don't make, these I'm going to make into journals, but is there a market for just doing journal covers? If I was going to make just journal covers in both the half size and the full size. You guys think there's a interest in that at all? Let's see. I want a bigger something there. Yeah, Brenda, it's just not fun, right? Being in that age. We don't have an idea store here. I hear people talk about them, and that sounds fabulous, but we've got 2 thrift stores that I go to in the area, but I honestly have better luck on eBay and Etsy. Hey, Suzanne. $100 journals. Wow. Wow. Although when I look at all the covers I have in, I've got like hardback books that are covered, ready to be made into journals. I'm probably a quarter of the way there. I think I've got like 25 or 30 of those ready. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do the giveaway ones up, as full journals, but then I might make some kits because this is, really a relaxing thing for me to do. And I want to work on a wall hanging of some kind too. And as always, it goes probably a little faster. I hate it when I do that, a long stitch, but I'll come back in and do something over the top of it. What I love about this kind of a hodgepodge way of doing something is there's nothing that you can't fix. I mean, same thing with, the paperwork that we do with journals. There's nothing you can't fix. You don't have to freak out like, oh my goodness, I made a mistake, or that's crooked, or that's not staying down. It's like, okay, so then it's another layer, right? And the more, just like with paper, the more layers we apply with fabric, the more interesting things get. All right, what can we get rid of here? We can get rid of this pin, and we can get rid of this pin. So what's everybody working on? Let me know what's happening in your corner of the world. Thanks, Tunder. Yeah, it is a lot of work, and this is where I fall into the, like, if I was selling something like this, I would have a heck of a time putting a price tag on it, because I know it's a lot of hours, but it's so enjoyable to me. And like I said, just very grateful to find something that works for my TV time. I used to try and do my digital designs while the TV was on, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't concentrate to that level. We won't look at the back. Yeah, my back would not pass muster, and that's okay. I'm not going to feel bad about it. You're not going to see the back anyways by the time I get a cover on, or the inside cover. I figure I'll do maybe some lace sticking out in between the inside cover, and just a little blanket stitch or whip stitch around the outside. But I have to blame, and it's not blame in a bad way at all, in a good way. I have to thank Rebecca at Dances with Pit Bulls, because it was all her crazy quilt videos that got me even brave enough to think about trying to stitch again after a lot of bad experiences with stitching and sewing as a child. And I had not thought about it at all. And she's the one that got me thinking about it and playing with it and looking at my fabric in a different way other than just gluing them down on a journal cover. And then I watched, like I'm sure a lot of you have, Anne Brooke, textile artist, her Sew for the Soul projects that she's been doing this year. So Rebecca and Anne are my two inspirations. How do you know the needle is the right one for you? Is when you can thread it without the threader. Making a journal for a customer. Do you have a theme, Brenda? Okay, yeah, so you're teleworking like a lot of folks. Is that working out okay for you, or is it frustrating, or? Okay. Let's come down this way. Get rid of some more pins if we do these. My husband works in tech, so luckily he was already set up to work from home, and it was a pretty easy adjustment to go from working at home a few days a week to working from home all the time. But I know for some people it's been really hard, and for those of you that have kids that you're trying to do homeschooling with for the first time, hats off. I just, wow, that would have been really hard for me, I think, when my kids were little. One of the things I'm thinking about a lot lately is process versus product. Do I want to do something because I think it's going to be something that I can sell, or just because I enjoy doing it? And I had this problem when I was writing too, always thinking about what I was going to sell next. What was the next book that was going to sell, or the next article that was going to sell? And it's a different way to think about it, to just think about enjoying the process and not think about, if you're somebody that sells. I mean, not everybody, sells their artwork or journals. But I'm trying to just enjoy the process. Oh yeah, VPN can be a bear to deal with sometimes. Brenda, mine are always chunky monkeys too. These little journals are going to be single signatures, but I'm sure they're going to be very fluffy. Although I guess that's a little bit of an advantage when you do them with completely fabric covers, is they should be a little bit more give in them. Yeah, I guess if you're working, you're not used to working from home and you've got stuff at work that sometimes you might need, but you can't get to anymore, that would be frustrating. Had a couple of friends that were still going into their office like one day a week to do things with clients in the office. And so I guess they could at least access what they needed to there. Let's see, get rid of a couple more pins here. Oh, I wish you guys could feel this. It feels so cool. Just love it. Yeah, I know I'm going to want to go back and add more stitches, but I'm more excited to get rid of the pins. Did you already have a home office set up, Kay, or did you have to set all that up when things hit in March? Oh, come on, needle. Is anybody working on Christmas journals? I have not done a Christmas one before. I don't think I will this year. I might some other year, but not this year. Got too many other projects I want to do after this. And I've really had trouble getting into doing messy things, but I hope maybe tomorrow or Friday I'll get out the jelly plate and do some jelly plate work. Yeah, that would be hard. The work buddies, before I was able to, I guess, retire from the day job, I did enjoy the people. I didn't enjoy the work, but I enjoyed the people at work. And, now where I don't have an office, people that I miss, but I do miss my weekly trivia night with my friends. And I miss seeing my book group people in person, debating, doing some outside gatherings, where you can keep your distance. Let's get this over here. And I do have all the studio boxes unpacked finally from the packing up from the fire, but it's certainly not back in any kind of order yet. It's almost like I forgot where things went. You would think, I would know because I had just packed it up like a couple weeks ahead of time, but I think because I'd done all that reorganizing, things were still not quite set in my brain. I think I need to make a little map of where I'm keeping things in the studio. So you've got to squeeze your office into your craft room. That's hard. How old are your grandkids now, Debbie? That's neat that they've got an ornament to look forward to from Grandma every year. We haven't had a Christmas tree up in quite a few years because nobody really wants it. Well, our family's small and spread out, and we just don't have people over. So, yeah, not a whole lot on the Christmas side here. I'm pretty adaptable to the virtual stuff, I guess. Super introvert, so it's okay for me most of the time. There are a few people I miss, but luckily my husband and my dog and I, we enjoy hanging out here together. And I miss hugs from my friends. Oh, I am liking this a lot. I think a few beads, a couple buttons. I knew I didn't want to put a picture on the front. That just wasn't something that I wanted to do with these. So I think the threads were a good choice. Taking a look at all the chat here. 2, 3, and 4. Oh, that's a great age. Oh, so they're still at the age where Christmas is just full of wonder for them. Okay, just take your time and work, as it moves you, rather than feeling like the pressure to do something. I mean, I would make a Christmas journal, but it would have to be something that I would be making to sell. And I'm not, I mean, some people are really into Christmas, and I was when I was younger, but I'm not into it enough that I want to spend that. I spend a lot of time on my journals. I'm not fast at anything, and I'm mostly okay with that. So if I'm going to invest, a few weeks in working on a journal, it's got to be a project that excites me. And Christmas is fun to look at, when other people have done them, but it doesn't excite me enough to want to spend a lot of time on it myself. I imagine I'll get faster at doing this over time. But it's not too bad. I mean, I figure, any of the time that I spent here with you guys chatting is always productive, and, it factors into the work, but it's just nice that I can do something that I wanted to do anyways and then hang out and chat with friends. I have a bunch of pink thread. As I said, I'm not a super pink person, but it dawned on me, I've been dyeing fabrics. Why have I not been dyeing threads? So I am going to dye a bunch of my pink and blue thread into deeper colors so they're not quite so pastel-y, into something I can actually use. Did some experiments using my Inktense blocks, dyeing some fabric yesterday, and what's really nice about it, it's permanent as soon as it dries, and it doesn't change the feel of the fabric. It still feels nice like fabric. So I'm going to play around with that some more. Ahorla, I'm not sure how you say your name. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Yeah, when I was in my 30s, I enjoyed Christmas a lot. I really liked to do the whole decorating thing. And, when the kids were young, it was a lot of fun. I used to have a Christmas village that I would put out, and I collect Father Christmas figurines, which have been packed away for quite a while, but they were a lot of fun to put out. We would do the gingerbread house, all that kind of stuff. It's fun when you've got little kids that you can share it with, because they're just so in awe of all the Christmas activities. Taking the kids to see Santa. That's fun times. All right, what can I get rid of this one yet? Yeah, I can get rid of that one. Oh, I'm really liking this. And let's see if we come over here and do this. We can get rid of this one. Laura. Okay, so and then Laura with an Got it. So what are you working on today? No, I should have. Okay, let's just tie this one off and get some more thread. so nice when I was sewing all the lace onto these things. I was using, you've got the end of the spool of thread on your sewing machine, and it's not long enough to do whatever your next thing is. So you take it off, but there's still a little bit of thread on there. So I've been using that for doing all the hand sewing, and I emptied so many spools. It was wonderful. It was like such a satisfying feeling to be able to, well, I didn't throw them away because, it's a spool, right? Although I haven't quite figured out something to do with the empty spools of thread. I've got a lot of old wooden ones, but I don't know. I'm still keeping even the newer white plastic ones for some reason. They're too small really unless I did a very tiny snippet roll. Come on. Just the right size hole in that needle. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was trying to use my stuff up, and you guys keep watching because I'm not when these are done and I reach my milestone of 5,000 subscribers, I am not going to announce it as a giveaway journal. So you will have to be a regular watcher, subscriber, and watch my journal, and then or watch the videos, and I will announce it in there, because you get these people that just subscribe because they want to get something for free, and I want to make sure that the time that I'm putting into these, that people that enjoy watching my videos and interact are the people that are going to win them. So we'll figure out some way to do that. All right, that one can go. Let's just get rid of the rest of the pins, and then maybe I don't know, should I continue working on this one, or should I might move to a different color and just get things tacked down. Yeah, I want to make sure that you guys are the ones that get it, not somebody that says, oh, the video says giveaway, I'm going to sign up and I'm going to win. So I'll probably do like a secret phrase or something at the end of the video. Maybe like when I do a flip through of these when they're done, and there'll be a phrase that you'll have to. I don't know. I have one friend that she doesn't take the entries on her YouTube channel. She makes people email them to her, and she doesn't make the email easy to find either. People have to, you have to work for it. It's not going to be a freebie. So that's another possibility. I mean, it's a freebie, but it's not, it's not like just comment on this video. So I could do it that way too. I could say in the video what the email address is, and you'd have to figure that out and then send me the phrase. And that way you can't just copy from somebody else's response. Hey, Jude. Okay, we'll do the random color one next and see if we like that. How are you doing today, Jude? No, Jude is one of my moderators, and she is also a super good friend who helps promote my shop. So that's my shop, and I really need to get you guys some new digital kits out there. So she makes sure you all remember that I have a shop, that I don't just do the videos. And I really appreciate that about Jude. All right, we'll do the random color one next. Well, it's not bad. If I've got an hour while I'm chatting and stitching to get this out, that means that, I'll do even faster than on the ones when I'm not stitching and I don't have a headache and burning eyes. Let's see, I don't need that pin. All right, we are almost done with pins. That's nice. Been working since 4 this morning. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Brenda. Four in the morning is that's sleepy time. I'm not a morning person. Have never in my life been a morning person. There have been times where I had to be at work really, really early in the morning and I could make it, but boy, I was not my prime, that's for sure. Oh, this is feeling really, because of course then the fibers all have a different texture, so it's adding a different feel to this. These are going to be really tactile journals, which is so much fun. And I've got no batting in here. I'm thinking I might, when I put the inside cover on, I might do a filler of some kind. It's just got so much texture now. I just don't know that it needs anything else. Yeah, 4 a.m. is, whew. All right, I don't need that pin. I think I'm almost out of pins. Let's get this guy over here. Get the little end here. Let's see. All right, down to the last pin. Boy, right at the hour, so that's not bad at all. Oh, no, there's another pin there. One more. Okay. So I don't think this is done, but I think, like I said, I'll go back in and I'll do some more stitches, but I will probably add some more fibers and some beads and buttons. Maybe what I'll do is I'll work on getting all the threads down. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'll do during the week before next week. Who knows? Maybe we'll be working on pages by the time we're back next week. So there we go. Let's see. I can. And so there'll be a little journal like this. Oh, it feels so good. Yeah, it doesn't need a lot more. I don't know if it needs more fibers. I think just maybe a few beads and buttons. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Thank you. Oh, geez, Rebecca. You get all the fun jobs, huh? All right, so the multicolored. Let's see what we've got. We've got these guys, and well, let's just start playing. We're just going to cut maybe a long piece and kind of snake it across. This is always one of those, I don't like it at first, and then I like it more as time goes on. And by the time I'm done, you know, I usually like things, but not sure. Not sure. Crazy mother in the evening. So Brenda, which one? The blue one? Is that the one that you like, or the multicolor? Because I don't have to do the other colors, the pinks. I mean, I can keep doing more of a certain color too. Let's see. This is completely different than the way I did the blue one, right? Yeah, I feel better about my fibers since I went through them thinking about, you know, what I might want to destash. And I kept ones that I really liked because a few times I scored some really big bags of fibers at Goodwill. Is that enough variety? Ah! That's why I pin things, because that happens. Or you get that dried piece of skin on the edge of your nail and everything goes flying. Okay. Yay, nay. Wow, it got dark. Let's see if I can give you guys any more light. I think that'll do. We'll see. You know, we can always add once things are sewn down. But now you guys get to watch me boringly pin, because I think the pinning is something I need to do. I'm not experienced enough yet to just wing this. Yeah, when I was packing things up for the fires and I was looking at what I was willing to leave behind, that was kind of an eye-opening thing, that I really had too much stuff. I sort of want to put something else in there, and I don't know why. Nope, that doesn't go. No, wrong shades. I guess we'll just see what it looks like when it's stitched down, right? I don't know. Do the loops work? Because these aren't quite as loopy. Maybe I should cut the edges so that they're not all loopy. What do you guys think? Okay, so it's not enough to have a headache and burning eyes. Now I'm going to have a weird throat too. Tell you, between allergies and smoke, it's been some fun times around here. Yes, Rebecca does amazing stitch work. She definitely is a great inspiration. I don't know why the curves are throwing me on this one, but so Jude, I was saying before you got here, because of all the stuff that you told us about last week, I went ahead and I made yet another one of these that was all with lace that didn't have any coffee dyed on them, because I coffee dye a lot of my lace. And I realized that all the ones that I had made all had coffee dyed lace on them. I was like, well, I better make another one that has no coffee dyed lace on it. Wait a minute, I'm looking at. I know, Jude, you must get that a lot, right? About the song. But it makes me smile. Every time I see your name, it makes me smile. I don't know if anybody watched the movie yesterday, which we thought was a really good movie, but Ed Sheeran in there, instead of "Hey Jude," he's like, "Hey dude." It was great. All right, yeah, I definitely need the pinning. See, now the trouble I'm going to have with the multicolored one, I can already see this when I'm putting the pages in, is like, what, I guess I just do a variety of pages. I don't know, the innards are stopping me, but hopefully what happens to me each step of the way when I'm working on a journal, I don't know what I'm doing. And then it's like I work on the one immediately in front of me, and then I figure out what to do with that thing, and then the next idea comes. Usually. Not always. Sometimes I stomp around a lot before I get the ideas, but and I really admire the people that can sit down with their sewing machine and run all these things through the sewing machine and make it look amazing. I tried doing a little bit of free motion embroidery, but my machine doesn't have a speed control, and I'm not experienced enough to really do a good job with that. So plus I was working on small, I didn't stop to think, you know, with being so inexperienced, and I was working on very small things. So perhaps if I was doing a larger piece, but I discovered I enjoy the hand stitching enough that I want to just keep doing it that way. Just a few more pins to kind of hold the general idea. Glad these are long pins. I wonder if the air quality is getting worse, if that's why my throat's... Yep, our air quality is getting worse. That's the deal. My throat knows. Catching up with the chat. Hi, Janet. Did you sneak in and I didn't see you? Oh, I do have a bunch of berry tea in my color box. That's a good idea. I'm trying to use up, you know, so many of the other things that I don't do a lot of. I've got some Easter egg dyes. I've got some food coloring. I really need to just make a bunch of messy paper things, and I don't know why I've been hesitant. All right, that should hold it enough that I can sew. Let's get some more thread. I'm going to stick with just using this neutral thread, or I guess it's crochet cotton or crochet thread. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's not embroidery stuff. It's a big ball of crochet cotton that I got at Goodwill. I had this other ball out as well that was white, and I realized it was all cotton and I could dye it. So it's a big, huge ball. So I'm going to cut it into skein. So should I do them all, each one a different color? Or should I stick with just a couple colors? You guys let me know, since these will be going to my loving subscribers. So Janet, how's the air up there with you today? Is it getting any better? I mean, we finally dropped below 100 here, but now it's climbing back up again. Nice thing about the multicolor ones, boy, it just gives a real pop without a whole lot of effort. Thanks for all the thumbs up, people. I appreciate it. And for those of you that are coming in late, I am not trying to finish these stitches the way I want it to be. I'm just trying to tack them down enough that I can get the pins out of there, and then I'll go back later and add some more stitches to hold things down. Okay, so that'll be a way to maybe use up some of the different colored threads, since I don't normally use these kinds of threads. That'll certainly give me some freedom of what kind of papers to put inside too. So how many of you that are here watching do hand sewing of any kind? And is it something that you've done a lot of, or is it something you're fairly new to? I mean, like a lot of us, I did some as a kid, but when I was a kid, it wasn't super enjoyable because I didn't do it to the specifications of the people that were teaching me. So they didn't like what I was doing, and that made it not fun because I didn't like to do things that I wasn't really good at. And when I was a kid, the only color I wanted to use was purple. That was like my favorite color. And my mother and my grandmother were not crazy that I was crazy about purple. But I did embroider pillowcases for my hope chest because we did do hope chests back then. I'm going to guess that a lot of folks nowadays don't know what those are. But I did pillowcases and I did some napkins. I think that was about it. Then I got tired of doing embroidery and being told that I wasn't doing it right. So I went on to other artsy craftsy things. Yeah, Rebecca hand sews crazy things on her crazy quilts. I love it. Oh, I meant to bring over my little things to show you guys that I got. Was looking for stuff other than washers. All right, here's have a vote. I have I found all my rusty things. Some of you might have seen it on Facebook. I had tons and tons of rusty bits because I had rusted a bunch of fabric last summer. And then I misplaced where all my rusty bits were. So they've been sitting in this bin for a year. And they're pretty flaky, so I've got to get out there with the wire brush and clean them off. How many of you would then just stitch them on a page as they were, or would you do some kind of a clear coat over them, spray them with some kind of a protective thing? I think the vote when I asked on Facebook was pretty split. Hand sewing maple leaves to tie it together. Ooh. Oh, you did hand sewing on your iCads. I need to go look at your iCads. Hey, Mitzi. So most of you would spray. Yeah, I need to. Anymore, I look at anything that I need to go buy. It's like, do I really need to go buy it? Because it's so, I don't want to go into a store and shipping anymore. I can't get anything in a timely manner, but I think I'm going to have to. Maybe Dick Blick will be faster than some of the other stuff that's been coming. I have a bunch of gloss medium, but I don't really want glossy finish on it. I don't know why I have tons and tons of glossy finish, and I'm not crazy about a glossy finish. I like a matte finish, and I mean, it's ancient stuff, but it's still good. I'm also trying to decide. I have a bunch of old watercolors that were watercolor tubes that were my husband's grandmother's tubes. So they're, they're old. And I'm thinking, are they still okay to use, or should I just toss them? I'm not sure if watercolors go old or not. Okay, Debbie, I'll go check your Instagram to see. I do like stitching on paper, but there's a satisfaction that comes with stitching with fabric that I did not have for a whole lot of years. And I'm just really, really enjoying it. Just add some water. Okay, I'll test them out and see. I mean, because it's a lot, gosh, watercolor goes so long. And I was thinking I could, certainly color a lot of pages to use in books. Maybe I'll just put them all in bottles and make some sprays. I was really happy with my ink tints test on fabric. Oh, Rebecca, have you done that? Have you used ink tints on fabrics? I loved it. I didn't have to use any fabric medium, and it just did not change the texture of the fabric at all. Yeah, that's exactly what it was, Brenda. I'm really glad that you knew that that was what that pen was for. It was perfect for going around the stuff before using the ruler. So thank you for that. I have moved that thing around on my desk I don't know how many times, and as soon as you said it came with the rulers, I remembered because I had the rulers. Okay, well, if the watercolors are still good, I think I'll just put them in some or some kind of bottles just to mix up a bunch of liquid at once and then dump them in my tubs and color a bunch of paper. Because I have so many watercolor tubes. I've got the ones that I inherited and then my own. It's like, okay, let's use up the oldest stuff first. Yeah, the ink tints, though, I was really happy. I don't have any of it handy because that would have been smart to keep it handy to show you guys today. But the ink tints on fabric was awesome. I've got the blocks and the pencils, and I can't draw anything realistic, so I won't be drawing with the pencils. But you can do the same thing like you would do with my neocolors. You guys might have seen me do that where you, oh, I don't like that huge stitch. Let's take that out. Where you just shave the pencil and then add water and you can dye your fabric. All right, so here's another question for you guys. I have a ton, and we'll bring them out to show you. I have a ton of these Tombow markers. Once upon a time, I was doing a lot of doodling, and I worked with the Tombow markers. I don't doodle, and I don't use them that much. You know, I can't draw realistically, so, and I don't, oh, I was coloring with them too, I guess. How can I use them for coloring paper? How can I easily use them for coloring paper or doing something that I might want to use with the journal? Because I have so many. I probably have 100 of them. It's ridiculous. Stupid obsessive personality. I mean, I can do kind of, I guess, a smush thing. Spread them on a piece of plastic and spray it with water and smush them. But boy, I don't know. Maybe I should just sell off the lot. Yeah, the ink tints are a wonderful, vibrant color. So I'm going to play with mixing some of my earth colors to dye some more fabric because, you know, you can never have too much dyed fabric. And it hardly takes anything at all on the ink tints. I just took my water brush on the pencils, on the end of the pencils, and then just painted, you know, on the fabric that way. Whoops. Okay, I need to keep telling myself this is not final. This is just to get rid of the pins. I had to talk myself into it every single time that I'm not messing it up. So Rebecca, when I first started doing these little things, it was because I'd been inspired by watching Carol McDonald. I don't know if you've seen any of her videos, but she takes little scraps of neutral colored fabric and stitches them down like this, and then she paints the fabric, and then she does her hand embroidery over the top of that. And that was what I was going for, except that I forgot that she didn't use a lot of lace, that she had used, you know, flatter fabric. Not that I can't embroider on this, but it was just a different look. But that's kind of where this came from. And I was going to paint these, and I thought, well, no. I've got some squares. I'll play around with the painting and see how that works. So you use, yeah, they work well with water, but So you use them on your doodling, huh, Janet? I don't doodle enough to make it worth it. So I'm guessing maybe I should, I'm just thinking, how could I maybe just color pages with them? You know, like get paper color with them. Or maybe I should just sell off the Tombos because I still have too much stuff. Because if I just scribble on the paper and then spray with water, then you still have the scribble lines, and I'm not a fan of that. But I mean, this is why I have to figure out what to do with them. Let me show you. It's almost embarrassing. Okay, it's not almost. It is embarrassing to have this much of something that you don't use. Those are all Tombos. Okay, Rebecca or Jude, thanks for hanging in here with me. We'll chat later, Jude. Yeah, I think the only way I can figure to do more of a page would be to do a smush technique with the Tombos and just kind of, you know, on a larger piece of plastic rather than the little blending thing. And then spray it with water and then smush the paper over the top. Well, I hadn't thought about that. I wonder if I could just leave one in a jar of water and see if the color would leak out. I might try that with a color that's not one of my favorites. Sometimes though, it's like, is it worth the effort? Yeah, I could do alcohol inks with them, but I have gobs of alcohol inks. And the good alcohol is hard to find lately. Zoe is having some very active dreams in the other room. She's like yipping. She must be chasing squirrels or deer, probably chasing the deer. Janet, you're too funny. Is that like the same kind of pain as destroying an Edith Holden book? Well, maybe I should send you some Tombos. I mean, I've got my, shoot, what are these things called that I like so much? I've got my pit pins, and I've got them in 2 sizes. And I've got my micron pins. And so I tend to be using more of those than the Tombos. Forgetting a Dean Koontz book? Oh, that's too funny. That is too funny. I suppose if I finally saw somebody gutting one of my books, that might be kind of, although have I got, no, I don't think I've gutted one of my own books yet. That time could be coming. But my books aren't the right size. Like I gut books that are, if I'm looking at the thrift store, I'm always looking for books that are the right size hardback that I don't have to cut anything in order to put my 8.5 by 11 paper in. And I have a bunch of books that I had set up for doing altered books. And I've never even done an altered book yet. I can't believe it. I cut all the stuff apart, took pages out and everything to do altered books. And I found them in the studio when I was doing the big clean out. I think I had like 10 of them all prepped to do altered books. Never did a single one. So I should probably put that on my list, huh? Yeah, they've got to be the right size. Isn't interesting, Janet, that you use the Tombos more than anything else. But you can draw too, right? So don't you draw some of your stuff and then doodle in it and do your wonderful, you're a great doodler. You and Vicki Brown are both my favorite doodlers to watch. I use my Pitt pens and my any kind of an alcohol-based marker when I want to add a little bit of color to leaves or flowers, dried leaves or flowers. They're really good for that. I just, I was a sucker. I admit it. I mean, I watch somebody using something and see the beautiful work they do, and I don't stop to think about how I work differently. And I buy whatever it is they're using. I'm just, and I caught myself doing it the other day. I'm like, oh, look at that. I was watching a video in one of the classes that I'm taking. It's like, oh, I love how she does that. I should buy it. No, I don't need to buy that. I can figure out how to make it work with what I've got. Because it's not like I'm hurting for supplies. All right, can I get all of this down, get my pins out of here in the next half hour? I am not sure, but no, I don't need that one anymore. Okay, where are we? Let's tack down this thing. Yeah, I think I love the idea behind an altered book, but I can't figure out, I wouldn't use it for anything. So I think before I do anything else with mine, I would have to figure out a better use for it. Maybe more as a storage book as opposed to an actual journal. I need to make some ephemera folder kind of things. So maybe I can do that with the altered books. I need to make one for all my postage stamps because I'm tired of digging through them, and my small ephemera. I hadn't thought about that before. Maybe I'll take another look at my altered books and see if I can do that. But I mean, I have so many books that I have saved for gutting. It's ridiculous. And when our sunroom gets done, we've got 4 more sets of built-in bookshelves that are going in there. Well, they're in, just nothing's painted yet. So I'm starting to think about how to, what I'm going to move where and what books are going to go into that space. Drink some water, Susan. Oh, Rebecca, thank you. That'll be fun to see. Hey, Shelby, you missed it. Yeah, you missed it all the good stuff. I tell you what, we had, tiny dancers and elephants balancing balls on their head and all that great stuff, and you missed it. Sorry. Yeah, Brenda says I did the drawing and she won. I love it. You guys are awesome. Stitching down some fibers on my lacy covers today, Shelby. I'm kind of just trying to dress them up a little bit more. And this is not something I've done a lot of, so we're just kind of winging it here. Zoe has an opinion. I guess she's saying hello to you. Somebody must be walking by. Cracks me up how she can come out of a deep sleep because even with all the doors and windows shut, she can tell somebody's walking by her property. Janet, but I mean, I love to use the books as bases, but are you doing altered books where you remove some of the pages and leave some of the pages? Or are you gutting the complete book? Because I've got a bunch of books that I've gutted because they're the perfect size. And I mean, there's no pages left in them, just the front and back cover. But I've got about 10 books where I decided I was going to make altered books out of them. And maybe I'll just take the rest of the pages out of them. I don't know. But I just am not motivated to do the altered books. I'd also, when I first started watching YouTube, I was watching a lot of people that were much more, their talents were different than mine. So they would take an altered book and paint pictures, to go with the book. And, it wasn't I enjoyed watching them work, but I realized it wasn't the kind of work that I was ever going to do. But I think I started prepping some books thinking I was going to do that. And I was going to do more glue books, and I decided I wasn't going to do glue books anymore. In fact, I've got a huge, giant carton of paper box filled with all my magazine images that I'm giving to an art teacher to use.
I'm very concerned. That's a factor of 100 rejection.
Show me. Isn't that funny? Certain things we are just instinctive about.
Yeah, if it's an aggregate, we should be okay with it. Pretty much you and I are the only ones.
So, Janet, do you do your altered books in such a way that they are still journals to write in, or are they done for something else? I'm trying to imagine now how I can do my altered books as my ephemera folders, because they would stand up to my beatings, because I'm hard on stuff. So now I'm really thinking about how I get so excited to have a space on a shelf that's empty, and then I get freaked out because the space on the shelf is empty and I don't know what's going to go there. I'm neurotic. What can I say? Just a wee bit neurotic. Wow. I need to make an appointment with my doctor. My computer glasses are no longer strong enough, and I only got them like 6 months ago, so my eyes are fading fast. And so hand stitching would have been the same thing for the computer glasses, and so I'm just not wearing any glasses, which probably doesn't help my eyes any either. All right, let's see. Wow. Making better Shelby, too funny. Hey, Lori. Happy to have you here for the first time. Oh, great doodle spot for you then. That's a good idea. All right, you guys, I think you've convinced me. I really like this multicolor one a lot more than I thought I would. I don't know. Those of you that saw the other colors, should I do the other colors or should I do the rest of them all in the multicolors? Bye, Thunder. Happy to have you here for however long you were able to stay. You have a good night. Yeah, I'm sort of thinking maybe I'll use up a bunch more of my multicolor threads with the others. Isn't that interesting how that changes once you can start seeing? And then I can use all kinds of buttons or beads. I wouldn't be trapped on a color. Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll do all the giveaway ones in the multi, and then I'll put the blue one up for sale. I'll do a blue journal. I could use some of my pages from my mermaid kit because it's got lots of blue stuff in it. I did not think I was going to like this one nearly as much as I do. And it's not even done yet. I like blue too. And see, and I didn't even pull out greens because green is my favorite color. I was like, well, I don't know if I can do any greens. But maybe I'll just do multicolor because that means I can go through my stash of all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, this is kind of helping me figure out how I'm going to do these. And I've got extra. I think I'm going to be making this style of a journal cover for a while because I'm enjoying them so much. And I like Debbie's idea of maybe doing the cover and then putting together kits. And I'm not doing proper couching, but it's okay. I can come back and do some other stitches in that area. Get the pin out of there. How am I doing? Oh, I'm still time-wise. All right, Debbie, have a good night. Thanks for hanging. Brenda. All right, so Brenda and Debbie are going to arm wrestle for the blue. For those of you that came in late, here is the blue. So it's going to make a cute little, cover.
Correct. They're not technically the EPI system does allow provided identifier, but that assumes that the customer.
All right, but did you guys come up with any ways about how I can, if I want to keep making these sorts of covers, how can I make them kind of naturey covers with the lace as my base? That is a question. I need some more water. Yeah, couching is taking any kind of it doesn't have to be a thread. It could be a yarn. It could be a ribbon. It could be a twisted ribbon. It could be a piece of sari silk, and then just doing little stitches to hold it down. And your stitches could be the simple little ones like I'm doing. You could be making X's. You could do zigzags. You could do it with your sewing machine. There are sewing machines that have a couching foot where you can just kind of run your cord through or whatever you're doing. So the fun thing about couching is that you can do fibers that maybe you wouldn't normally sew. You know, it doesn't even need to be a fiber. You could take a parts of a zipper and couch that on top of whatever it is you're working on. You could take a chain from a necklace. So it's just a top stitching something down, I guess, is the non-technical way from the Susan School of Sewing. If Rebecca's still here, she might have a more technical way of explaining it since she's the seamstress. But I have to say again, what I have loved is using these cheap laces that, you know, I got at the thrift store that I cut off of a dress, and they're some of them are very stiff, but you know, most of them are poly laces. But when they're cut into these little bits, like I've stitched underneath here, the texture changes and everything is very soft and very tactile and just has a wonderful feel to it. Dye the lace. Well, see, now we have another vote. See, Shelby, I was going to paint one of these, so the whole thing would be one color. That's another thought. I think I just need to finish the giveaway ones, and then I can experiment with doing a lot of different things. Whoops, lost my needle. Where did I put my, there's my needle. Okay, I'm reading all your suggestions. Leaves in the string to make it look like a vine. Leaves in different colors. Interesting. Couch the thread in the shapes of leaves. Ooh, okay. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to make some more of these to experiment with. Those are some great ideas. Thank you. We got that. So yeah, I will probably, my TV activity will be to go along and do nice little bands of couching to hold this down more, so it'll be more durable, but just getting the pins out of there is good.
Yeah, so go ahead. Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, what we're, so the potential, I agree with the theory. So one of the things.
I did not expect to like this multicolored one this much. That's for darn sure. I think I can take this one out now. Ooh. No, I thought maybe it had a barb, but nope. Let's get that one out. I think that's the last pin. All right, let's just use up this thread and then we'll take a look and see. You can see the back, but it's not pretty. It's not pretty. I am not one of those fine seamstresses that makes little perfect stitches, and I'm finally okay with that. I used to get dinged all the time as a child when I did embroidery for not having a pretty backside, and I just finally said, forget it. I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to have fun with it, and I'm not going to worry about what the back, because you're not going to see the back. Once I, put the inside cover on, you're not going to see any of that stitching, so why should it matter? But to some people it does, especially people, I know that have gone for specific training to do this kind of thing, and I'm just kind of winging it on my own. Flattening Chinese lanterns. You mean like the paper lanterns? Oh, shell, yeah. No, these are here's the blue one done. I mean, it's a mess. See, it's a mess. And I have so much thread. I know some people are like, oh, you can save thread by being so close to, I don't worry about it. If I was going to have the back be exposed, I would be more careful about leaving those long stretches, where I go across the fabric, because things would get caught in it. But because I know that I'm going to cover the back and you're not going to see that and it's going to hold everything in place, I'm not as worried. All right, I'm going to tie this one off. So Brenda, it's funny that you would ask about flattening Chinese lanterns, because I'm taking an online class with Roxanne Evans Stout. She does mixed media and books and things. And she had, and I don't remember which class it was in, because I've got like 5 of her classes. And one of the things that she had sewn down was just the bottom piece of a Chinese lantern. So it had the circle and the paper, and it was flattened down. And then she attached it to one of the pages in her book, and it looked fabulous. And I didn't have any Chinese lanterns. And so I was thinking about taking, let's see, do I have any heavy cord? Taking, some string that was sort of like this, and gluing it down with rice paper on the bottom and rice paper on the top, so you could get that same kind of an effect. All right, so here's a multicolored one, and I think I really like this. Brenda, yes. Drippy sides all around. All right, so we have a blue and we have a multi. Now I don't know. I don't know what to do on the next ones. Wow, it got kind of dark. Is it dark for you guys? Let's see if I can lighten it a little bit. If I remember how, yeah, I might be able to lighten it a little. That might help a little.
That's a good question. Most of these are likely EDI transactions, and we can confirm that.
Whoops, now I lost my other screen. I've just got the laces sewn to a piece of an old sheet. It's just a piece of old cotton sheet, so you could use whatever. Some people like to use batting, but by the time the lace is sewn on here, it's got a nice padded feel. Green, Shelby. That's the one thing that I did not pull out the, well, okay. I do have my greens here. Let's see. I can at least maybe get something pinned down. I'm not going to last very long because my voice is kind of starting to go, but let's see what we've got in the greens that we can use up. I have a bunch of this. I'm just going to take some bits and pieces. What else? Okay, you know I'm going to love the green because I love green. We'll do a green one, and I'm just going to bounce all. I'm going to be making more of these. Maybe I'll make more by the time I get to my milestone. Okay, this stuff is not going to be good to use because it's shredding. Yep, they all came from, cutting off bits of clothing, and some of it's like the really hard, you know what I mean? Like some of the polyester lace is really hard, really stiff. And by the time you cut it into the little pieces and stitch it on, so none of my pieces of lace are more than 2 inches long. They're all like about 1 inch long. And it just kind of changes the feel of it. And you could do another layer. These are 2 layers of lace. You could do a 3rd layer and make it even poofier if you wanted. You could just keep going and going and going. Let's see, what other green? Some light green. It's kind of neat. And you don't need to use lace. You could do this all with just little bits of fabric scraps. I love green, so we're going to get a bunch of greens. These jars, I use these jars for everything. These are my cashews, come in these from Costco. All right, I can at least get the green pin down. And my trouble is when I start laying it out like this, I start thinking way too much. I can start at a corner. And I need to not think. I hand stitched the lace. Yep. I just, let me grab one. I just got little bits of lace and I just literally tacked it down. And I wasn't worried about doing anything other than holding the lace in place for right now because I knew I was going to do more over. We'll do some giveaways. We'll do some kits. We'll find a way to make sure everybody has the opportunity to get one that wants one. Let's start this guy up here. And see, you could also, when you've got things like this that's got the holes in it, you could weave it, through your lace there. I mean, and when I'm done with these fibers, I can go back in and do some more embroidery on them. Yeah. Yeah, I think the internet's stressed all over lately, right? This is brown. This is not green. That's in the wrong pile. This is like a shoelace kind of. This was in my bin from the Goodwill, I'm sure. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll just try and get everything pinned down before I leave, and then I can sew some more. You know, it's just like working with paper. It's just collage, only with fabric and ribbon and bits. And, you know, now I have another whole one of these jars. It's filled with sari scraps. So you could do it all with sari scraps. This is why I save everything, people, because then you can do something like this. You have little balls of yarn all over the house pretty soon. Looking for something different. Oh, here's one that's different. I don't have this one out here. Green is my favorite color, so I have lots of green. Okay. That looks pretty good for green. Let's get these guys pinned down. The pinning actually worked better than I thought it would, so that's good. So I'm thinking about the insides of these books. Since they're going to be for you guys, you need to let me know. Would you like pages that you can write on? Or do you just want a journal filled with all kinds of neat stuff to look at? You know, more of a lookbook, which I guess is actually a term for models, but because I think what happens with a lot of us when we buy a journal, at least for me, I know I'm buying journals for my collection. They're not usually the ones that I write in because I tend to write in a steno pad. And that's from just all my years of writing as a reporter. But I was thinking about that. I thought, well, maybe I don't need to worry as much about pages to write in. Maybe it's more about giving you guys something fun to look at. Yeah. It's like somebody else's creations are like the great inspiration for me. Even though they have pages for me to write in, I don't write in them. So it'll be fun then, because then you can, you know, you can fill it up with all kinds of stuff. I don't know, you guys. I made the green one. I might not want to get rid of the green one because it's my favorite color. But I know lots of people like green, so. So I'm not sure at what point I will be next week on these. We'll see. I want to keep working fast, though, because that milestone is approaching a lot faster than I thought. I think I'm only like 100 people away, which is just kind of shocking to me, and I'm very grateful. Is anybody in the U.S. near dealing with the hurricane? Hurricane Sally? Scary times for Alabama and Florida there. Oh, looks like our air quality has gone down. The hills have disappeared again. I can't see them at all. Wow. Hadn't looked out the window for a while. Hey, Maria. Oh, sorry, Alora. Yeah. I just hope we don't have an earthquake in the middle of all this, because we definitely have earthquakes here in California, especially in my area. All right. Is that, no, it's not enough. I confess, the pins I have won me over. Definitely makes a lot of this easier. Okay. One more here. No, I don't like that. I'm going to cut that off. Okay. I'm not going to try and sew that, but let's see if I can pin something else. All right. So you guys were saying purple. So maybe instead of the pink, we'll do a purple one. I know lots of people like purple. So let's see what we've got in the purple range. Ribbon should probably be ironed. I'll take a little bit of this, not a lot, a little. I don't have a lot of purple fibers. Yeah, I know, Shelby. No more, right? How's the air quality for you today, Shelby? This is that nice mohair feel. I love the feel of this. Wow. That feels neat. Okay, Janet can have the blue. You want the purple. You might have to fight Mitzi, though, for the purple. I like the purple better than the pink. I'm not a pink fan. Let me make sure this isn't going to. Okay. Some of these fibers are not the best quality, so they were shedding, and I didn't want to sew on one that was shedding. Let's see, sort of like that. What else do we have? That's a dark one would be good. Really dark. Nice.
Let me just check my schedule for the rest of this week. Oh, good. I should be able to send out.
Boy, the dark just really kind of ties it all together, huh? That's a little too pink. It's more of a maroon. Oh, folded in half. Let me get one of the ones that's stitched. So folded in half. This would be the blue one. Let's see if that'll. You never know which way to turn it, so that, let's see if I get back to my other thingy, I can even zoom it, I think. If I remember how. So that would be a journal. So that would be, 8.5 by 11 folded in half. Looks like a chicken. I see what you mean. That's funny. Well, we can do it this way too. Humid and sunny. It's not quite as humid here today as it has been. Okay, Lauren, I'll talk to you later. Yeah, and by the time I get the other stuff on top of it, you guys might not see the chicken. Let's see. Is there anything else we want to add in there? Is that enough purple? We need more purple. We can do one more purple. Maybe like that. All right, so we're doing purple instead of pink. Do we want to do an orange, or do we do another multicolor instead of an orange? I don't know about the chicken. see.
Okay, yeah, that's, that makes sense on Friday, but I can start, I have some ideas about how we can pull that sort of information. Yeah, let me pull that and.
Always look so different than when they're pinned down, and then when they're sewn down, each stage changes the way something looks. Another purple. Okay, so we have multi, we have purple. So orange isn't winning anything. That's good because I'm not really crazy about orange. So I have two more I can do. So I can do one more purple and one more orange. I can do one that's in earth tones. I can do another green.
I should have a draft of that ready, say Monday or Tuesday.
One more purple and one more multi. You guys are funny. So funny. This has got a hole here, huh? It needs something. It needs another piece of this little fuzzy something. I just have to say thank you to all of you again. You are just the best crew to hang with here on Wednesdays, and I really appreciate all of you. I smile for the rest of the day just thinking about our conversations here. My dog is making the strangest noises right now. If you hear some strange rumbling in the background, it is not thunder, it is the dog. I'm thinking maybe one of the bunnies has come up close to the patio door, and then she just sort of grumbles her opinion. Yeah, I guess we'll just see what hits me when I get to that point as far as the next colors. Oh, Brenda, that's great. Well, I'm really glad you joined us then. Yeah, I mean, I'm just chatting with my husband. I don't make many other lives anymore. I used to, but I find, if I have to do like a Zoom meeting with my book group or something, I get all talked out. When I used to do public speaking, it's very draining for an introvert like me. And it would always like wipe me out. I would do a speech and then I would take the next 24 hours just to kind of recover from the speech. And while this isn't like giving a speech, I'm just talking off the cuff with my friends. It is draining. So I people that stream like every day or 3 or 4 times a week, I don't know how they do it. Well, they must be extroverts. Introvert wouldn't have enough time to recover. But we're all different, and that's what makes the world go round and makes it so exciting. But so I'll finish pinning on this purple, and then that's probably going to be it for me today because my my voice is going and I need to go do some throat tea. But you guys got your purple, and I promise I won't unpin it after I stop streaming. I will actually stitch this one down, and then next week I'm hoping I will be working on putting the innards together. It'd be nice if I could show you guys some finished covers and be working on the innards. That's the plan. I have some messy stuff I want to do, but I can set that up at the other desk so that I keep this one ready for the streaming stuff. Be careful, I don't want straight edges. This is not that kind of project. Sometimes straight edges are good. I need to pin a few more places. And then we'll Okay. I think that's going to hold all of that. Oh, maybe right here we need one more. One more. I would love to say that my lace pile has gone down, but you know, it really hasn't. All right, let's get these guys back in their little container. So I might do another, at least one more multi, and then maybe another blue. We'll see. So today, what did we get done? We have a purple one that's pinned. Oops. We have room for that on there. That's more pink. I'm going to leave that. So we have a purple one pinned. We have the green one pinned. I might add some more green. We have the multi one stitched. And we have the blue one stitched. Oh, thank you, Alora. Oh, Janet, working at home. Yucks, yuck, yuck. I knew the smoke was bad up there. Ooh, purple and green together. Let's see. Not so sure. Purple and green together makes me think of Mardi Gras, but that is a possibility. All right, people, I think I'm going to go get some tea, and then I will do some more stitching. I really appreciate you guys hanging with me and supporting me, and thanks for the thumbs up, and thanks for your support in my shop, and thanks for helping me get closer to that 5,000 subscribers milestone. Everybody stay safe wherever you are in the country, and go out and do something awesome. Have a great week, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye for now.